Just because my kid gonna be that top athlete, so all they gonna know is the field and the track. As soon as they come out the womb.
Soon.
I'm going to the track. I'm gonna fucking get my body back because they done stretched it out. But I'm scared because
somebody else was hanging out too.
Okay, nah. Because what in the reality TV multiverse did we just wake up to? The internet is literally shaking, phones overheating, group chats in full meltdown mode because somehow, someway, Chrisean Rock just got dragged into the kind of controversy that makes even Zeus Network drama look like a Disney Channel episode. And no, this isn't just another messy live stream or a chaotic Instagram rant this time. It's way deeper, way darker, and way more uncomfortable. We're talking about a situation where fans are now side-eyeing everything her words, her actions, her energy because rumors are flying that she might not even rock with her own son like that. Yeah, let that sink in. Meanwhile, Neveah stepped into the spotlight like she had receipts, timelines, and possibly a whole documentary worth of tea ready to spill. And the way she's talking. Oh, it's giving I've been holding this in for too long. Now the internet detectives, aka people with Wi-Fi and too much time, are connecting dots faster than Marvel fans after a post-credit scene. Old clips are resurfacing, interviews are being reanalyzed, and every single facial expression is being dissected like it's evidence in a courtroom. And somehow, every road leads back to one uncomfortable question. Is there something off about the way Chrisean treats her own child? But wait, because it gets messier. Some fans are saying Neveah went too far. Others are claiming she just said what everyone was already thinking but was too scared to admit. And then there's that alleged statement, the one that has people clutching their pearls, dropping their phones, and typing in all caps like their keyboards owe them rent. And just when you think this can't get any worse, a new detail drops that flips the entire narrative upside down, and suddenly nobody knows who to believe anymore. Listen, because this didn't just come out of nowhere like a random Twitter trend at 3 a.m. This whole situation has been brewing quietly in the background, like a pot that's been simmering for way too long, and now it's finally boiling over. And at the center of it all, Chrisean Rock, her son, and a storm of whispers that people tried to ignore. Until they couldn't anymore. Because let's be real, Chrisean's life has never been calm. From explosive relationships to viral fights, she's been living like every day is an episode of a reality show that never gets canceled. But when she had her baby, fans genuinely thought, okay, this is it. This is her soft era. This is the moment everything slows down, priorities shift, and she steps into motherhood like a brand new chapter. Except, that's not exactly how things played out. Instead of a peaceful transition, the internet started noticing little things, small moments, tiny clips, the kind of stuff that doesn't seem like a big deal at first, but when you stack it all together, oh, it starts to look real suspicious. And the comment sections, they were already whispering before anyone even said it out loud. People began pointing out how Chrisean would move during live streams, the tone in her voice, the way she reacted or didn't react in certain situations involving her baby. And suddenly, those little observations turned into full-blown discussions. Not loud yet, but definitely there. Like background noise that keeps getting louder the more you listen. And here's where things start getting messy. Because while fans were quietly questioning things, another name kept popping up in the conversation: Neveah. At first, it was just indirect mentions, subtle shade, the kind where you're not saying a name, but everybody knows who you're talking about. Then came the tension. Posts that felt a little too pointed, comments that didn't sit right, and suddenly, it wasn't just fans speculating anymore. It felt like there was actual behind-the-scenes drama starting to leak into public view. And once that door opened, there was no closing it. Now let's talk about the moment everything shifted. Because there's always that one moment to spark that turns smoke into fire. And in this case, it came when Neveah allegedly decided she was done staying quiet, done holding back, done watching things play out without saying her piece. When she finally spoke up, it wasn't soft, it wasn't subtle, and it definitely wasn't filtered. It was the kind of statement that makes people pause mid-scroll and go, wait, did she really just say that? Because suddenly, the whispers turned into accusations, the doubts turned into headlines, and the entire narrative completely flipped. Now the internet was no longer asking questions, they were picking sides. Some people immediately jumped to Chrisean's defense, saying there's no way a mother would ever feel that way about her own child. Others, they were already pulling receipts, saying this lines up with everything they've been noticing for months. And just like that, the timeline turned into chaos. Clips resurfaced. Old videos got reposted. Interviews were dissected like they were part of a true crime documentary. Every word Chrisean had ever said about motherhood was suddenly being replayed under a microscope. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Because while everyone was focused on what Neveah said, something else started circulating, something that made the situation even more uncomfortable. People began claiming that this wasn't just about one comment. It was about a pattern of behavior, a pattern of energy, a pattern that, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And suddenly, the narrative got darker. Because now, it wasn't just did she say something shocking. It became, wait, has this been going on the whole time? And that question, that's the one that really sent the internet into a spiral. Because if there's one thing social media loves, it's a mystery. But if there's one thing it loves even more, it's uncovering something that feels hidden in plain sight. And right now, people feel like they're watching a story unfold that's way bigger than anyone expected. But don't get it twisted. Because just when it seemed like Neveah had taken control of the narrative, something unexpected happened behind the scenes that started shifting the energy again. And what comes next? Yeah, it's where things go from messy to straight up explosive. And this is where everything stopped being drama and turned into a full-blown digital war zone. Because the second Neveah dropped those statements, the internet didn't just react, it activated. We're talking timelines moving faster than a Marvel multiverse collapse, group chats turning into investigative units, and everybody suddenly becoming a certified body language expert overnight. Now all eyes were locked on Chrisean Rock, every move she made, scrutinized, every post, overanalyzed, every silence, interpreted like it was a secret message coded for FBI agents. And the craziest part, she didn't even have to say anything, yet people were already writing entire storylines based on vibes alone. Then BOM fan pages started pulling receipts like it was Black Friday for evidence. Clips from months ago resurfaced. Old live streams got chopped into 10-second proof segments. People slowed videos down, zoomed in, replayed reactions frame by frame like they were studying for a final exam in Drama 101. And suddenly, what used to look normal started looking questionable to thousands of viewers. One clip in particular, that one had the internet in a chokehold. It showed a moment where Chrisean's reaction didn't match what fans expected from a loving mother narrative, and that was all it took. Twitter's sorry X went absolutely feral. Comments were flying like WWE chairs in a steel cage match, and nobody was holding back. Some fans were like, nah, this is being taken way out of context. Others, they were ready to write full dissertations explaining why this proves everything Neveah said was true. And right in the middle of all that noise, memes started popping up like popcorn in a microwave. Yes, memes, because nothing says internet chaos like people turning serious allegations into viral jokes. We're talking side-by-side comparisons, exaggerated captions, and reaction videos that had millions laughing while also being low-key uncomfortable. It was messy, hilarious, and borderline unhinged all at the same time. And then, because apparently things weren't chaotic enough, celebrity commentary entered the chat. Influencers started weighing in. Blog pages began posting exclusive insights. Even random verified accounts jumped into the conversation like they had insider info. Suddenly, everybody had an opinion, and nobody was staying quiet. But here's where it gets real interesting. Because while the internet was busy dragging Chrisean, some people started turning their attention back to Neveah. And not in a supportive way. Nope, now they were asking questions. Why now? What's her real motive? Is this exposure? Or clout chasing? And just like that, the narrative split into two completely different storylines. On one side, you had people saying Neveah was brave for speaking up. On the other side, you had skeptics claiming she was stirring the pot for attention. And suddenly, this wasn't just about Chrisean anymore, it became a whole ecosystem of suspicion. Meanwhile, Chrisean's silence? Oh, it was loud, because the longer she didn't respond, the more people filled in the blanks themselves. Some took it as guilt, others saw it as maturity. And a few were like, she's probably just watching all of this unfold like it's a Netflix series about her own life. Then came the fake screenshots. Yup, because when the internet gets bored, it starts creating its own plot twists. Alleged demons, leaked conversations, edited clips, things that looked real enough to fool thousands of people before someone zoomed in and realized, wait a minute, that font looks kinda suspicious. But by the time the truth came out, too late. The damage was already done. The narrative had already spread like wildfire, and people were quoting things that may or may not have ever been said. That's the thing about internet chaos, it doesn't wait for confirmation. It runs on assumption, and just when it felt like things couldn't get any more chaotic, a new twist dropped that had everybody collectively saying, nah, this is getting out of hand, because suddenly, whispers started circulating about something happening behind closed doors, something involving people close to Chrisean who allegedly weren't happy about how this was all playing out. And if those rumors were even half true, oh, this wasn't just internet drama anymore. This was turning into real-life tension, real-life fallout, and possibly real-life consequences. And trust me, you are not ready for what happens when this situation finally spills out from behind the scenes. And this right here. This is where the story stops being just messy and starts feeling like a full-blown season finale with plot twists nobody scripted. Because while the internet was busy choosing sides and turning this whole situation into meme content, something shifted behind the scenes, and suddenly, the energy around Chrisean Rock wasn't just chaotic. It was heavy. We're talking about the kind of silence that feels intentional. The kind where people close to her start moving different. Posts get deleted. Stories disappear. And suddenly, the usual loud, unpredictable presence gone quiet. And when someone like Chrisean goes quiet, oh, you know something is brewing. Meanwhile, Neveah didn't exactly back down. If anything, she doubled down, dropping more hints, more cryptic comments, more I said what I said energy. And at this point, the internet wasn't even surprised anymore. They were invested, like binge-watching a show where every episode somehow gets messier than the last. But here's where the emotional fallout really kicks in. Because beyond the memes, beyond the jokes, beyond the viral chaos, people started stepping back and realizing, wait, this involves a child, and suddenly, the tone shifted just a little. Not completely, but enough for some fans to start asking deeper questions, like, what's actually going on behind the cameras? What's real? And what's just internet exaggeration? And more importantly, who's telling the truth? Because let's not forget, this entire narrative was built on layers. Clips, interpretations, statements, reactions, all stacked on top of each other like a house of cards. And now, that house was starting to shake. Then came the unexpected twist. Because just when people thought Neveah had the upper hand in controlling the narrative, whispers started circulating that not everything she said might be as solid as it sounded. Some alleged contradictions popped up. Timelines didn't fully match. And suddenly, the same internet that hyped her up started side-eyeing her to yeah. Plot twist. Now both sides were under scrutiny. Chrisean's behavior was still being questioned, but now Neveah's credibility was being dissected just as hard. And the comment sections? Oh, they turned into full-blown debate arenas. People were writing essays, dropping theories, arguing back and forth like it was a courtroom drama streamed live. And in the middle of all this chaos, the real question got louder. Not who's winning, not who's trending, but what's actually true. Because at the end of the day, this wasn't just about viral moments anymore. It became about perception, about how quickly narratives can form, spread, and take on a life of their own, whether they're accurate or not. And watching it all unfold, it felt less like reality and more like a social media experiment gone completely off the rails. But wait, because we're not done yet. Just when it seemed like the drama had reached its peak, one final detail slipped into the conversation, and this one. Oh, it changed everything. A clip, a statement, a moment that didn't fit neatly into either side's story. Something that made people pause and go, hold on. We might have been looking at this all wrong. Because what if this entire situation wasn't as one-sided as it seemed? What if both narratives were missing key pieces? What if the truth was somewhere in the middle, hidden under layers of assumptions, emotions, and internet exaggeration? And suddenly, the chaos slowed down just a little. Not because people stopped caring, but because they realized this story might not have a clear villain after all. And that realization, it hit harder than any viral headline ever could. Now the future of this situation, completely unpredictable. Will Chrisean break her silence and flip the narrative again? Will Neveah come back with undeniable proof? Or will this entire drama slowly fade, leaving behind more questions than answers? One thing's for sure though, the internet might move fast, but it never forgets. Now listen. If your jaw dropped at least once during this whole situation, don't even try to act calm in the comments. Because this right here, this wasn't just drama, this was a full-on emotional roller coaster with twists, turns, and plot changes faster than your Wi-Fi can keep up. So go ahead, smash that like button like it owes you rent money. I'm talking aggressive taps. I'm talking no mercy. Because if this story had you thinking, questioning, side-eyeing your screen like something wasn't adding up, you already know this video deserves it. And don't be shy in those comments either. I need to know, are you Team Chrisean? Team Neveah? Or are you sitting back like, nah? Everybody looking a little suspicious right now. Because the theories, oh, they're about to get even crazier from here. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? You really out here watching all this chaos unfold without locking in with the source that's bringing you the real breakdowns. That's wild. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, because trust me, the next update, it's going to shake the timeline all over again. And remember, on Celeb Insanity, we don't just report the drama, we break it down, flip it around, and show you the side nobody else is talking about.